record it, and then change its nature by a multiplicity of operations. Record it at different speeds, you play it backwards, you add it to itself over and over again. You adjust filters, echoes, acoustic qualities, you combine segments of magnetic tape. By these means and many others, you can create sounds which no one has ever heard before.
Okay, so I guess what I need to do is, or one of the things I can do now that I have some data is I can make a graph displaying the data for each text. So I guess I could put, or I could make a graph which somehow displays how would I display it? I'm not exactly sure. One of the things I could do is I could make a graph which contains 64 numbers, and then I could show how many times a specific letter occur within the text. I guess. Maybe that's what I should do, or what I'm going to do. The thing is just that the way that I have the data right now is not very, I guess it's not very good. So I guess I almost need to write a new file here and then have the data within that file. So I could have this data only, I guess. I guess we just do that. So I can make, I don't know, I think I might just make a new function in here. And I guess we need another object here. I'll just have it in one file. It doesn't matter so much with this data formatting. So data, what would you call it? Data letter object. So I guess I need a list. I need an object which have 64 of these. And what they need is this, I suppose, this list, and I need I guess I could also take this letter count. I think I might just start with these two, and I also need this JSON function. Okay. And the binding of this, I guess we can just do the same way, so I might just reuse some functions here. I guess this is what I did, right? Which passes the O. Let me see. We run on the paths. I guess maybe I should actually just rework this function. So we create these objects, and I guess this is where maybe I should actually make some file which shares these functions, because I kind of need to reuse some of them here. Okay, so I guess we need this as well. Path, and we don't have this, we have, or I guess we can have this array as well. And the data object now is this data letter. And it does not take a file, or does it? Wait a minute. Number file. Okay, so I stored the file path on the object, so maybe I should do that as well. Which is basically this. So we should have the file OS. Why is it doing this? Okay, so here we have the list of objects. I guess we need to do this again then in here as well. And we don't need the word count. I guess we still want the character count. Maybe. We open the file based on the file path. We read from the file and we call some functions. And I guess we would like to have this function as well. Okay, so we still need to call this function afterwards. So I guess we take, we still need to have this character count, I think, because the, right? Word counts. So letter count occurrence and character count binds to character count. Okay. Hello, random guy. Okay, so we have the character count, and after the character count, I guess I could actually run it up here. So we close the file. Let me see, and after that, I guess we could call this, right? This function, and then we pass the O, because the loop should be done as far as I know, right? I'm fast. I guess it's because I'm copying pasting right now, right? So it's not so. You know, it's just the show off. It's not real coding, right? Okay, so we should have everything now, and then what we need to do is that we need to have, or we need to print this into some kind of a file, right? So we can use the data on the website. And I guess I check in here what I do. So I write JSON files. I guess I could make some function like this again. Are you making a website for yourself? Yes, I am. That's what I do, at least right now. So it's most of the time it's just me doing whatever I want to write. And right now I'm doing some data work, I guess you can say. That's the simplest explanation, at least. So here we loop over the list. Okay, so JSON files we pass here, and our job, I guess. Oh, wait a minute, I think I can actually call this here. So this does the count and then it's actually finished. So I could do, actually I could write like this, but then I would need to open the file multiple times probably. And let me think for a second here. So I need to write to a file. I think I'll actually just do this. Then we have to pass this array, so we just loop over the array inside of this function. That's fine. And we need to open, so I'll just copy this. We need to open some file which we can write to, and let's call this, I'm not sure what we call this. Okay, and how do we then do, I forgot how you do this. So in here, I guess the interesting part is this to JSON. Okay, so O to JSON. O dot to JSON. And this we have to write to the file, so write O JSON. And I think also, I guess we need to do this again. And then we close down here. Okay, and this will give us data, so I guess we can actually try this out and see what it does, and fix this first. So, did we not get that object? I guess I deleted it. Okay, so let's try to run this program and see what it does. Okay, so it prints them at least. The object has no attribute, character, occurrence count. I guess it's because I took letter count, right? I should have had character. So it's not really letter data, this is character, I guess. Let's see. Object has no attribute letter. Okay, so data. Let me see. No, it was letter. Let me see. I think I'm confusing letter and character, right? A character in this sense is everything, or every character. Yes. So I actually need the letter. Let me just fix this then. I guess it's because I need this function. Character, wait a minute. So it is letter, character. It's not really. It's just figuring out what because, you know, I made this program yesterday, so it's okay, so we're writing okay, we wrote to this file now, and I see if we wrote things which we would not want to write here. So interesting, very interesting. Because it seems like this takes everything. So I guess I need to look at what I actually did here. Count characters. Wait a minute. Is that the mistake I did? Just have to be count characters. But it's working. I think I almost made something wrong yesterday here. I'm not sure right now. I guess we can try to print something. So what would we print? Print. I guess we will try to print O here maybe. It'll probably just give an object reference, yes. So let's try to do O dot there, and that's will also give us object because it's an object, or it's a dictionary. So it seems that I'm doing something wrong here. So let me check this out again. We have a file path, we have the letter count, and we have letter occurrence, but letter occurrence also contains values which I don't want it to contain. So let me see, or try to figure out what I actually did in this other program for it not to count. So we do count words and we do count characters, and the count character works or add something to a character occurrence count, which is a dictionary. And then we loop over this. Okay, so I guess it is character, but we call it, oh no. Let me see. Letter count. I think it's because I'm confusing characters and letters right now. I'm not exactly sure. Because there's something here which does not really make sense, if you ask me. So maybe the data I have from yesterday is also corrupted or something. So this takes a V and a O, and the V is a splitting. Oh, because we do it in the word count. I think that's the reason why. Yes, so this must be the reason almost. So I kinda need this function, but I don't need what it does, which is it's not so good. Because I don't really care about word counts. I could do some stupid trick, right? Just to make it work with this, like add the word count and then delete the word count before printing the JSON. I might just do that just to make it work right. I'm not sure if I want to refactor. This also have to contain the letter counts. Let me see. So this is the one actually counting the letters. Okay, so yes, I guess what I need to actually just, okay, so this splits and we get the words here, and then we check on a regular expression. So I guess what I can do is actually I can delete all this. And this is not word count anymore, this is like a character count. I don't even think I need this if else actually. I'm not sure. But what we could do, so I guess I could do this. So V, and then we say this, we increment the letter count, and I can remove this then, and this, and I'm not sure, I don't need this anymore, not in here, and this is not word count, it's count letters. And we will call this up here somewhere. So character count. And this is for each line, so I think this is SL and O. And I think we don't need this character count anymore, as far as I know. I guess I just need to print this, right? So let me actually print. Let me just print this out and then see what it gives. L. I guess we just run it. Let me see if there is print other way or other places. It's here. Okay, so it seems to print something character object occurrence. that's fine. So we actually can remove this. Pretty sure. Right. Yes. And yes, now this should work as well. So that's fine, and we can remove this. I think this is actually it. Let's see, it seems that there is no errors, so let's check this out. I'm not sure if this is just writing to the end of the file, so let's try to do this. Okay, so letter occurrence, we most certainly get what we don't want here. Let me see. I guess what we could do is then we could print C. Yeah, this is printing commas. That's not what it should do right now. So, letter count. Oh. Character count. But these two have the same regular expression, I think. Seems so. The question is why I get these and what I do to not get these. I mean, I get the right data here, right? So I have letter occurrence count. What is the difference here? Letter occurrence count. I mean, we do this.
I say stay in there. I'm not going to let anybody see you. There's a bluebird in my heart that wants to get out, but I pour whiskey on him and inhale cigarette smoke. And the whores and the bartenders and the grocery clerks never know that he's in there.
So C and V is the same. Here we just pass. Oh no, that's right. Okay. So this is actually S. I think that's the problem. It's because I did it on the V. So let's see. And let's also remove this print because it should work now, I think. So let's see. Okay, A, B, C, D, F, G. Okay, it looks to be correct, and let's sort it out. I don't think we need this word. Yeah, we don't have that anywhere. And what more? So we need to have this in some kind of array, right? Right now this is objects. So let's. I guess I'll just dump it in a file. I don't really care, and then we can work with the data. So what I need to do is I need to do this thing. Maybe I should write it like that actually. I'm not sure. I guess it's actually here we write, right? Yes, so this, okay, so here we write for each, meaning that what we can do, I guess, is to we can do write, and we can make some kind of const data which is an array. Here's a flush. We don't need this, right? No. And that would then be written into a list, meaning I have to do this. And I also think after this I'll probably have to write a comma, right? And that's a bit problematic. Okay, so we have this, which gives us an object. I guess we can remove this file path actually.
He's singing a little in there. I haven't quite let him die.
And it holds objects
And we sleep
with
together
data on.
with our
So this should be fine actually. I guess we can work
It's
with this.
nice enough to make a man weep.
Just this
I don't weep.
And I guess we also, so what do I do with this file path? File path we send here. So let me see. I guess what I could do is actually copy this up here, right? I think so. I think I can remove this, and then what we do is, so this is the file. We don't read the file here, but we could read the file up here, right? Because we have the file already. So I guess we could do it that way maybe. We take this and we say fopen. Maybe pass this, and the object we append, yes, it's an empty object, that's fine. I guess we don't want to do that yet actually. We can just create it here. So let's say O equals data object, and then we append O in the end. And also need to close the file. Where did I do that? I did do it there. So if meaning this one goes on for each line in the file, and after we have counted we call this function and we append the object and we close the file as well, right? And then we can write the JSON here. We can remove this. So n is the number, that's fine. I think this might work. Let's see. File path is not defined because I did up here. Let's actually remove this. Alright, so we still get the data. Good. I might just do it the same way I did before or yesterday. I might actually just write this to the start of the file. Let me just do that. What's up? I'm just programming. A bit of Python. Right now it's right now I write to files, right? Or yes, I write the data to JavaScript files. That's what I do right now. So I can display some graphs. I have 64 of these graphs, or I have 64 of these data sets. So I'm I'm gonna try to put them together into one graph instead of having 64 different graphs with very similar data. And also, when I have done this, maybe it's easier to discover deviations in the pattern, and maybe I can get an average and so on. So I guess that's what I do. You just started with Python. When did I first? I don't consider myself a good Python programmer. It's more like scripting stuff. I do with Python. Script kitty. Or script kit or something. I don't know what you call them these days, right? But I did maybe Python first time like 2 years ago or something. I think. Not sure. It's not even that I'm a big fan of Python. It's just what I do when I have to do something simple, I think. Okay. So where was I? I have this data, and my goal now is to do what? Yes, okay, so I need to make the JavaScript file. So I need to write something here. I probably just need the same. I'll just take this again. And use underscores and lower cases instead, much cleaner. I don't care about stuff like that, to be honest. If you are talking about like variable and function names and so on, then I think it's purely what you would call like a personal preference. I want to build a code to control servers on Raspberry with my cell phone. Alright, I think you should do it then. So this have to go on after the object. Okay, so in here I also need to create a new function. I have the code from a YouTube movie and the code for Android, but I have an iPhone. Oh, well, what you could do then, at least one way, if you only want to control a Raspberry Pi from your cell phone, you could make a website that does it, and it would work on all platforms, right? At least that's one way. So you don't have to worry, because essentially it's just it's just you sending packages, or it's you sending data to a server, communicating with a server in some sense, which in this case would be a Raspberry Pi. I guess it might take a little extra time, because you have to maybe connect. It depends on what you do, right? But if you have to connect to a server first and then the server validates your request and then it sends it to the Raspberry Pi. But if you can get it to, if you can get your browser to communicate directly with Raspberry Pi, which I think might be possible, then I don't think there will be any latency. Maybe if you connect through some socket or something, I'm not sure. But the Raspberry Pi is, I guess the Raspberry Pi, you could even set the Raspberry Pi up to be the server for you, right? So you talk to it in that way. I don't know though, I've not used or done anything really with Raspberry Pi. Thank you. I have a Raspberry Pi though, but I never really used it. Alright, so I have this. Yeah, I have one as well. I could not turn my on. That's how good I am. Don't even know how to make it run right. I don't know what I did wrong, but I did something and then I was like, fuck it. Fuck it. Okay, so we have these functions, static. I don't know what I did wrong, because I think the thing I might have done wrong, I don't know if you can get a wrong SD card or something, but I bought like another kind of SD card and it would just not turn on. I don't know what. And then I was like, you know, fuck it. I don't want to buy a new SD card. Which is probably pretty stupid, but anyways. So static, we need a function here which can work with this data. I'll just call it total letter data. Okay, so we should have some kind of data here. So let me see if I can add this so I can display it. I'm not sure where I should add this right now, actually. I might want it in a category out here for itself, actually. Actually do that. Is this a personal project? Yes, it is. Or I perceive it as a personal project. Thank you for the follow. It's just me doing things that maybe one day will amount to something, right? So I might not, like, I don't really use industry standards, and I don't really do these sort of things, right? Like, I don't use React or some other kind of framework like that for doing certain things. So it's kind of me, or I guess you can say it's just me programming stuff, really. Whatever that means. Okay, so we can display the page, and do we have the data as well? So let's see. Yes, okay, so we have it here. And we have a function which can run this. So research, fetching data. Where did I place it? Oh. And maybe that was stupid to put it here. What is POCI or exclamation mark? I cannot even see if it's an exclamation. Okay, it is. Oh, proof of concept. Okay. Okay. Okay, so this add canvas method takes a data object, and the data object holds label data and letter count, which I guess is good because then I can do some work here somehow. So we take the data in, so data dot, and this is an array, so we need to loop over or is it data dot length. The data I'm looking at is, I have this, it's basically formatted textual data. I have this text called iching, and what I did is that I wrote a Python program which runs over these 64 texts. So there's 64 texts here, and each of them contains different text, right? And what I did was then to make a program counting the letters of each text, and the objective right now is to this letter count, which I have the data for in here for each 64 texts. What my objective now then is to display these 64 data sets, or whatever you want to call them, on a web page. So I want to take this data and then display it in some visual way, and I guess that's what I do right now. I guess you can say, why would you do this? Well, I don't know, but I just do it right. There's no real, there's no real defined endpoint. It's more of just taking some data, doing something with it, and then displaying it, and then maybe we can look at the data afterwards and then see, oh, so it looks like so and so and so, which maybe we find interesting. Do you work with Python? It depends on what you mean when you say, do I work with Python? I mean, I wrote Python here, but I guess I need more information on the question I need to answer. Because what is your definition of work? You mean real work, that I have a boss which pays me for working with Python? And if that's the question, then the answer is no. Yes, the boss thing. Okay. No, I don't have a job actually, so my job is nothing. I guess you can say. Maybe. Oh right, that's cool. Is the end goal sentiment analysis? I guess maybe. I guess the goal is to take some data and or take some information and do some data extracting or something, whatever you want to call this thing, right? And then display it in a visual way. Like I have here, I have like a log of the reading. So I read in this book, right, which is called I Ching, and it's also the one I do the analysis on right now. So I have a personal log of me reading in this book. So what I can do when I'm done with this is that I can maybe add more metrics or whatever you want to call these things, right? I could add how many characters does my specific pattern, or how does my specific pattern in this case look like compared to the average pattern of the text, because you can see that I might have read a hexagram 14 times, but I might have another one which I only have read 2 times, and this will give me, I guess, some kind of data set which I can show some data. Like it's basically just showing data. That means, or showing data which you cannot really say that means so and so, or what do I know, right? Maybe it can prove some acausality stuff, who knows? I do not know. That would maybe also be a bit too far out. There's nothing going on here. This, I know what you mean. This is awesome. I need to start working on my own little frameworks to visualize data in general. The visualizations, I use the framework for it though. I think that's actually the only thing, or I might have it somewhere else as well. But I use the graph library, right, for the visualization of the data. But the data is personal data. Like I've read, or I have, it's called read 400 or 554 since May. I think this is May. I'm not sure. Or then it's March. Doesn't really matter. I have the data in here, so it's the 3rd of May. And then I can do other. Right now I have this graph already, which is, it's a personal graph. It's based on my pattern, based on the readings I've done within this form of book. So another person's pattern will look differently than this one. And maybe that you can extract some information, but I guess it would be difficult for science at least to prove such a thing, because if you have, like I do most of when I pick a number, if I want to read in this book, right, I have to pick a number, and the way I pick a number is that I use this oracle which can generate hexagrams, and each hexagram corresponds to a text you read. So if I get hexagram 22, I would have to read this hexagram or this text, and then when I'm done reading it, I can add it to this list, which then corresponds to an update in here. So by me doing this, I can display data, and then I guess what I'm doing right now is adding a level on top of this, which will give me data for like the character and also word maybe, and so on. Maybe mine some tweet, Reddit post, and play around with larger data set over time. That's I think that's a good idea. It's whatever, you know, I guess it's whatever you find fun. This is, I guess, the reason why I do this is to because if you don't work so much within the system, it can be very difficult to obtain, you know, a piece of paper or a piece of information which you can hand over and say, you know, this is what I have done. You can make a website, but let's say some of your knowledge just comes from book reading or something, and you literally have no way of displaying your worth if it's based on reading or something, reading you do in your spare time. And one of the things I did is that I made this graph as well, but I guess I should not show. Maybe I'm showing these too much because I get questions right there. But I think it's a good thing to have something which can maybe display some information about you if you don't work really within the system, like getting a degree you can hand over. That's what I mean. Anyways, I guess I should get coding. So I guess the first thing we want to try out is that to see if we can. So we have this function. Let's actually just try to print this. So this returns, so we have to return here. We have to return a string. And this will be data, and let's just dump the whole JSON and then see if we can display it. I wonder what the correlation between whether a chunk of text is positive or negative versus your semi-random potential meaningless data would be. Oh, so you mean like if you had an analysis or something that could analyze the context or the meaning of the text, and then after that look at my random data and see is it a overall positive or is it a overall negative or something like that. I'm not sure if that's what you mean, but that could be interesting. You know, that's something I also would like to. I would like to do more analysis, I guess you can say, on the text. So maybe, like if I could do something like that, maybe you can prove something that is, or you can maybe say something interesting, like correlation, right? Or something. Maybe you can go out. I really like this thing called acausality, And maybe there is something to it. And maybe the only way of proving it is by collecting data on something. And I guess my dataset have some kind of, not 100% valid, right? But I don't know. I should not talk about it. It's too far out, maybe. So let's just not talk about that. Why do I keep doing that? Okay. Okay. Yes. So let me try to actually call this function, and this function takes a data object. So and these are both arrays, right? Yes, they are both arrays, meaning that we could do something like I guess we would do let's O equals, I'll just do this kind of an array, and we say letter count equals, or I guess you do this, right? Label data. And I think I actually need to get the number as well. I don't think I got the number here. So let me actually pass the number, so let's see. So number we can get from I guess it's this one, n, right? Maybe. So this would correspond to O dot number equals n. This letter object has no number, so let's pass it over here. Okay, so why did that not happen? Oh, that's why. I see. Or no? Oh, it's a number. Yes, we have number here, and for some reason it is behaving like a string. So Python converts string to int. I'm from Denmark. Denmark, but I guess it's close enough. Right?
Few drinks and smoke a joint, Bubbles? Yes.
I fucked something up now. God damn it. Data is not. Oh, okay, so that's fine actually. It's because I changed it, right? This is not data, but I called it. object. We also change it in here. Oh, add to canvas is not defined. So why is it not defined? Oh, it's because it's a static function. Let's remove that. So we can print this. And I guess what we need here is that the label data will be, so we push o.label data.push because it's an array, and we push data dot or data dot number, right? Yes. And the other one, letter count, we push this. And what we can do then is that we can, I guess we don't need to add anything, but we can pass. We can pass the O to this, and then we might see a graph. Let's see what actually happens. We got nothing. Oh, because this is a static function, and we have to call this. No, nothing. Okay, so so we do some data formatting here, right? Yeah, switch. Okay, so that's the reason. Yeah. Okay, so that's bad. It's actually bad. Meaning I would need another function of this, which it's not the smartest, right? But canvas data, and then this instead would take an object instead of data. On object. Let's call it this. Still not. So add canvas on object, new chart. Chart is not defined. Interesting. Interesting. Let's see, display data. Display data. I guess it's because we still need to inject this, right? So maybe what we want to do here. So let me see. Then, so this returns a promise. We then add the canvas. Add canvas data. Okay. So display data. That's probably where I needed some kind of general function or something. But we should be able to do this, and then I guess we can move this into a new function. Static, what do we call it? Static display letter, or maybe I'm not sure if this is already a function. This doesn't take anything. Or wait a minute, this needs to take the data. Okay. So what happens now? Cannot read property of length. Okay, this is probably this object. data, letter count. Now this should work. I don't know why it's not working. What's going wrong here? Maybe the canvas is not injected or something. Yeah, the canvas is not injected. So let's see. Because this is a string and swear this needs to return something, right? Yes, it needs to return a HTML string. Okay. So I guess we just do that. Or maybe there's no, I guess there's no meaning in actually adding it from here. I don't think that makes any sense anyways. Okay. So here we have a graph as well. It seems like the numbers, they are not formatted. So how do I format the numbers? I guess I need to do it before I do this, right? I hate this. It's not good when the data's fucked up. So I need to sort this list of objects based on a number, I suppose. I could also keep this. True 14. Interesting. Okay. So we have this graph, and then what next? What next? How would we display the other? I could do 64 graphs, like smaller graphs. Maybe, no, it's not a good idea. Or not 64, but have one for each. Have one for each letter. And then we could display the occurrence. But maybe then again we should work with percentage. So maybe that gives better. I'm not sure. Label data. I'm trying to display data. I don't know what else really to say. I'm trying to do stuff. That's what I do, maybe. A, B. No, I'm not doing scraping. I'm doing, I guess you can say I'm doing scripting instead. Data, I did data formatting with Python, like making the data sets. So I did this with Python. But right now, I'm not sure how much I need Python anymore for this task. The rest might be JavaScript. So let me see, this got an error now, and I'm not sure why. Oh, okay, so I made two functions, that's why. Okay, so it's just... So the thing right now is just to figure out what I actually do. So this is displaying the count of the letters within the text. So how long the text essentially is, I guess you can say. I guess knowing the word count could be interesting actually, because then maybe we could make a correlation, or maybe that's not the right word, but we could show the average word length or word length based on the text. So maybe, yeah, maybe that's what I would like to show. I don't know. So actually, let me add word count to this as well. I'm not sure if this function excludes any words right now. Probably need to check that out. I doing? Should probably just have printed this actually, or some of it. I guess line count is also important for this, now that I think about it. Maybe I should just make a big data set, or dump it all into a file. Character count, we don't do this here. Word count, word occurrence, so this is fine. I think. I guess this we need to call, what do we need to call it? Okay, for each line, so it's here, and it takes the same time. Then again, we do it here, right? So interesting. CNS. Yeah, S in this case is the word, right? I think so. So I guess what I can do is this. Should give me the problem is now the file will be very long. It's like 20,000. It's way too long probably. Let's see. Maybe it doesn't matter. 700 KB. I guess I could add all these words together, right? But I'm not sure if I should do that before or after. I guess after is better. I still want to... And wait a minute. All of these, they have the value of 2. Interesting. So why is that so? There's no with the value of 1. So these numbers, they are wrong. For sure they are wrong. It's only whole integers right now. It's interesting. So if the word is in oh, I see. think this should do it. Yes. The 2, 1, 2, 3, 5. Yes, this looks good. Or better at least. So I guess we can do something, but what do we want to do? Static. What would we first want to display? Can always format this later, I guess. I'm not sure about this word, other than displaying the total value. Oh damn. Yo, peoples. Thank you for the raid. Let me see. I'm not sure what to do right now. I have some data. Thank you. Yo, random people. It's the interwebs. Welcome. I have all this data and I really don't know how to format it. System.random exactly. I guess I could display the word count as the first thing, so we would have. Yes, I think I'll do that. So we can make an extra graph and then have the word count for each hexagram or each text. But I probably need to find a better way of adding these canvases. Thank you for the follow. I think I'll just copy the canvas in here and then display some data. I think so. Word count data. I guess we need to format the data as well here. What extension is that? The breaker icon. I don't know which icon you were talking about. Thank you. So we have this, and we run the letter count right now, right? So we should probably maybe rename this function. Let me see, total chain data. The baker icon, or what do baker icon below the extension icon? Beaker extension. I don't know what is the extension icon. Oh, this one. I guess this is what you were talking about. If this is what you were talking about, then I don't know. I don't know what that is. It seems to say some kind of testing, but I don't think I have. I don't really do testing. Command Java test. So it seems to be some Java extension, apparently. It doesn't matter, to be honest. I don't care so much about it. So label data, this will be, I guess I should probably rename these so I can reuse them, right? So in this case, this would be the word count. Not sure what is it called in here. So word count, and this then returns and we use this. Let me see. So it's a letter data. We also need to run this. So on next, display word count data. Call this and create for the canvas, and then I guess we can do this. And this now have to actually take canvas or wait a minute. So it did not work. And what do we have? Letter count. Total letter data is not defined. Okay, so that's good. I should probably call this something else. Inject and run. Okay, so we only have one graph. To see the other one, why is that not working? Because this one, we don't pass the data object. Okay. I guess this is very similar data, so it's maybe not so interesting to display. So maybe instead of displaying this, which is the total word count for each text, I could do something like the word length, because maybe that's more. So what would I do? I would, if I have the character count and I have the word count, I guess I would just divide, or the letter count. And yeah, this should actually be called character count, I think. I call it the letter count. Or no. It confuses me a bit right now, which thing we define as a letter and what we define as the character. So let me see. Yes. So we have letter count, and I guess we could just divide. Can we just divide by word count maybe? I'm not sure. So say we have 100 letters. We divide that by 10, then we get 10. That should be correct, right? No, that's not it. So letter count, word count. It's the other way around. 10 words divided by 100. Interesting. Okay, I did this the wrong place, I think. Back here. So what I would like to display right now, I think, is, I guess, the word length. The average word length within the text. So this number does not appear right. How would it look then? We have word count. Let's just say that is, or I guess we get the specific numbers. So letter and word count. Isn't it just divided? Or is it the other way? You divide. Might be. Yeah. Okay, so it seems that it's just because I did it wrong, right? So this will give the average word length of the text, I suppose. And what then could we do? It's really about figuring out for me ways of displaying this data, I suppose. I still could do something with these letters other than just the total count. Maybe I would want a graph which holds multiple data sets. I could do this, I guess. So dataset would hold these. Then again, this is not Maybe I should already have had this formatted. It's not so smart, I need to format it again. Almost. Or it's not so smart, I need to do computations on it. Right. So let's see. What can I do? I can make one more of these functions and then try to display the graph with multiple values on it. Because there is no reason to do what I do here. Label data of undefined, working on a push. Oh, no? Where's the so? Alright. The data and how does it work then? The labels, because the labels stay outside, and then we have the data set, which is an array. which is this one. So I guess what we need to do is that we have to pass this array actually. I guess we can put or replace this here, right? Probably need to pass O here, and which is the data, so maybe I should call it data in this case. It might also be better not to call it in here, but... And then I guess we want to create some kind of objects down here. So based on something, based on O. We want to create an object, right? And we want to so let A, which is an array. What we want to do is that we want to push this, and I guess we want to have some, let's we just code this static random color string, and this will return, and we do a literal and this, and we want to have a static function, static random byte number, return math.floor, set it math.random, or so it needs to be 255. What if I do math.random? I can never remember these. Or I can remember them right, but I cannot remember them. Like, I'm not sure if this will give me the value correctly. It might only give me from 0 to 254. I'm not sure. But let's just do this. We call this function here. Numbers, labels, so this label probably have to be number, right? Just do o.number, I think. And the data, needs to be an array, right? Yes, the data needs to be an array. So data, meaning that we probably have to have some function I'll just make a simple create data array. I don't really care so much about what's up, man, about real code. I guess you can say. So we pass O to this, or actually we pass O, I, and also it has to be O, I here. And we return A. And in the data array we have to create, so we passed data set, and which data was it then we needed to display? We wanted to display, I forgot what my task was. But I want to display what? Display what? I guess it was the characters, right? Yes. So I need to have an array with each character and its count, meaning that this is also wrong data. This will be an array as well. Label data, what was that before? There was also an array. So I'm a bit confused as to how you do this. I guess you have a label. Have a label on the object, which is here, so that's fine, which is this one. And then we have a color, we have some other stuff which doesn't really matter. We have the data as well. So this data have to come from here, and the data have to contain... Okay, yes, so I think I know now. So the data in this case have to contain... The labels up here have to contain the letter. So let's just ignore this for now.
Jazz is the mother or father of hip hop music.
And this one have to take so data. Let's just pass this, and for data, this data is then the specific, meaning that we have to get letter occurrence, which gives us not a list but an object, and then we have to convert it to a list as we did before. So maybe you can do this again. Letter count, label data. Label data. So do we need label data here? I guess it's this function, but we don't really need the label data. I'll just copy this. Let's just do it. So I guess it's like this, right? And then we just have to let O equal an array, and we push to this array. So let's just do O, move this, return O, then we use it up there, and then we still need to get the A, B, C, D. Which we kind of get here. You know C#, I've coded C# before, also quite a bit, but it's some time ago. I guess that's the best explanation I can come with. I haven't used C# in maybe 2 years now, but before that I did quite some C#, or I did some C#. Maybe that's the best way to explain it. Do you know this or that? It's all the same, right? Anyways. Maybe. You can try. If you give me like 5 minutes, I need to finish this off before I probably look at it. But you can try to send a link or something. Some way I can view it. Data object. Okay, so this is probably here. Yes, I have a Discord. If that's what you mean. I think you can also, if it's a link, you should be able to send it here. I don't know, it really depends on the problem you have. If it's a big problem, I don't think I'll help. But if it's like, if you can upload the code and it's very little, then I can take a look and see. I can check. It depends on if it's a logical error or if it's like something differently. Something different. Okay, so we have something here. Interesting. So we need to thank you. Fill false, okay. Is that in here? So what was this again? Oh, it's probably because of the labels, right? Labels, yes. I might actually just do this manually. Let me see. Or what would you say? Oh, so interesting. It's lagging a bit. It's not very good, but it's interesting. If we just can get the line, I guess we need to get the line a bit thinner. Okay, so border width. Okay.
fall in love too easily. I 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 fall in love too easily.
I'm not sure what else to do now. I guess this was what I wanted to do actually.
I fall in love too easily. I fall in love too easily. I fall in love too easily. I fall in love too easily.
Yo, free Flinny Co. I guess the problem with this data I have here is that this is not the average. I guess the average is what I want to display, right? So I need to calculate the average and not just display the amount of letters or how frequent they occur. So let's see. So is this, I guess what we can do is just divide here, right? On data.letter count, or we could also just display the percentage actually. What happens then? Yeah, this is maybe better. Because this shows the deviation, right? Where did you send it? I'll look, I guess. Alright. I got it. Okay, 1 second. I need to make sure. to here, this is what you got right. You can see some unity already here. It's maybe out of my ballpark, right? So what is the problem? I guess I can ask. I might not be able to help with this in any way. What is it you were trying to achieve? Instantiate new zombie. Set coordinates for a vector. What I'm thinking is that shouldn't you call this somewhere up here maybe? I don't know. I don't know what's really agent. I don't think I can help you, but okay, so the type or namespace mono behavior could not be found, or you're missing Unity engine. Yeah, I don't have Unity engine, so it's already there. I guess it's maybe difficult. But don't you need to import this somewhere up here using something? I'm not sure how you implement these. Implement it in the Unity Engine core module. Unity Engine, you might have to, let me see. Okay, you have this Unity Engine AI, you might need to add this Unity Engine as well. This AI is maybe specific. I don't know if this is the problem. It could be the problem that you need to add this Unity Engine and not only the AI thing. You can try it out and see if that helps. Else I don't know. It might be that you just need to import the Unity Engine and not only the Unity Engine AI component, or whatever you want to call it. As it seems like all of them are using this. I don't know, it seems like they also use this, but I don't know if you need system collections. You might also need that. I don't know if it helps, but yeah. Anyways, I think that's all I can say. And also, if you want to run this function, you probably have to call it. Did you add this and it worked, or no? I would kind of like to know if it was this missing namespace. Anyways. Anyways, I think I'm done for now, so you have a good day.